Hi there, my stamping friends. I'm Diane Evans with stampingwithdiane.com. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the interior of British Columbia. So if this is your first time joining me on YouTube, welcome. But also make sure that you've subscribed to my YouTube channel and hit that bell, and then you'll get notified immediately as soon as I do go live or if I do post a video online. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a swap card that I did for the month of January. And this happens to be Daffodil Daydream. And you know what? I'm not going to spend too much time. I think it's better that you see what's down here on my desktop. So this Daffodil Daydream is a bundle. If you buy it together with the 24 dies and this is a cling mount stamp. If you buy it together, you'll save 10%. And also during the months of January and February, you will also qualify for one free celebration item as well. So we're going to be doing a bit of a different easel card today. So I hope you enjoy this. I'll show you some of these dies as we go along, or the die cuts as we go along. So I have a piece of, and I've decided to do this in Pool Party and Pale Papaya and Very Vanilla. And and a bit of the Pear Pizzazz on there. I think those colors go great together. So you have these stalks. And these basically, there's one that goes like this, one that goes like that, and two of these bud ones that go like that. And then you also, we're going to need those. I did die cut this, and this is from the Hippo Friends, and it's the largest one of these scallop dies. I want to make sure I put these all in one spot because knowing me, I'll lose them. And I have cut out, and as I put the daffodils together, and they're very easy to put together, but as I put the daffodils together, you'll see really how easy they are and that they're not quite as intimidating. In certain ones, they have double of certain of the dies so that it's easy to cut them out all together. All right, so my card base is 4 1/4 by 11, and I've scored it at 5 1/2. And I'm going to go in and basically burnish that. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to come in with my trimmer, and I'm going to show you what we need to do. I need to cut this in 1 1/4 inches, and I'm going to cut it in, and I'm going to only cut it down to this mark here. So at the 5 1/2 inch mark, I can line that up. And the easy way to do that is you can go and line it up right to those ones there. So let me just go there, and I'm just going to cut down just like so. And then I want to score this at the halfway mark. Like I said, I'm doing an easel card. So the halfway mark on this particular card is, this is at 5 1/2. So it's 2 3/4 is the halfway mark. So I'm just going in, going to bring in my scoring blade. It seems to me like it's not quite in there. There we go. Lining up with that cut that's right up there. And let me just bring that down just a bit, just like so. Oops. And I'm just going to score that. And that's going to give me my partial easel fold card. I really like this. I've done this where it's been a landscape way of doing it, but it also can be this portrait way, and that's why I decided to do this a little bit different. So this is going to score up here onto that part. And I'm going to come in with my bone folder, and then let's just give that a really good fold and a really good fold along here. All right, now I wanted to add a bit of variety. So what I did was I went and I took my new Hive embossing folder, and this piece here is 1 inch by 5 1/4, and it's just going to lay onto this part here. But I embossed it with the Hive 3D embossing folder. Now the other part is, this is going to be a part that goes like this up to here. Now originally what I was going to do was I was going to use that Hive 3D embossing folder over here as well. But I just found it took too much away from the actual image that I want to put on here. Okay, so I want to kind of distress this a little bit. So I'm going to come in with my crumb cake and my blending brushes. So let's just go here. And I'm just going to just lightly sponge on here. Like so. And then this piece is 3 inches by 5.5. And that's what's going to act as the easel that comes up like this. But I also want to distress, like, I guess vintage it up, or let's just take the starkness of the pool party off. Just like so. I might need that in a bit. All right, so I have that. That's going to actually go onto this part of the card. And you know, it might even be nice to even do a bit of that sponging on this part here as well. And I think also on this part, because it's going to show, this part's going to show. I don't really want it on the inside of the card. So I'm just sponging that up, and then I'm also going to sponge a little bit right in this part here. All right. Now, this part here gets glued right down to the card base. I'm hoping. There we go. Whoops. So that's just going to go straight down there. And then this piece here is going to go right onto here. So I'm also going to glue that on as well. Just like so. Now, what I want to do is I want to finish up this part first before I go to put it on, because I'm actually going to be adding ribbon around there as well. All right, so I have this piece. This piece, like I said, was cut from the hippo dies. And I'm also going to come in with another stamping blend and my hsoe saffron. And I'm actually going to do a bit of sponging on all of my very vanilla and my white. So just a bit around here. And then there's this splotch here, splatters. And I'm going to take that and I am going to stamp that onto here. Now you notice I'm turning it a bit. I don't want it to look like I've done it all the same way. Just like that. All right, so we have that. And that's going to go onto this part here. But I'm going to hold off until I finish doing the rest of my the flowers on there. So there's a die that looks like this, and this is a partial, or it's a different angle of the daffodil. I really like this one. So I'm actually going in and I'm just sponging a bit of the hsoe saffron on there. There's also this piece here, and I'm going to also do that. And then I have this piece of the daffodil. There's 2 of these that are included in the dies. And then I have 2 buds. So I'm going to also do those. Then we're just going to glue them on. Like I say, pretty simple way to put this together. All right, so then that should be enough. I'm thinking, anyways, we could always change it. So this one's quite obvious the way that it goes on. So you could use adhesive sheets on here. I just didn't, because sometimes I find I can get it quicker and more accurate by just using the glue. So we've got that one done. Let's do our buds. There's a couple of these. Whoops. It's just going to go on here like so. Whoops. Now this goes like this. It doesn't go the way that you would think that it would go. My fingers are a little not moving as well today. So let me just pull that. And the nice thing, like I say about the glue, is that you do have a bit of wiggle room that you can play with it. So we've got that one going, and then we have this other one. Just like so. I say pretty easy putting this part together, but I think you're going to be quite shocked at how this flower or that daffodil goes together. And the double one, the wider daffodil, is quite neat how it goes together as well. All right, so this is the one piece. So there's a corresponding piece that fits, and this fits onto there. So I'm just going to glue this on. And I think this is interesting how this gets put together. I played with this when I was off away at Christmas, and it's a beautiful, and the dyes go together really, really well. So again, I have to do the wiggle room bit on here. And then this piece here goes onto this piece. And you're going, what is that piece for? Well, I'll show you in just a bit. And it really does go pretty cool on here. So this is just going to go onto there. Now I want to make sure that I've got enough of the stuff sponged. So I might just come with my blending brush, just in there. All right, so this is the magic of this particular flower. So this is going to go, I'm going to put a bit of glue just onto here, and that was quite a bit of glue. And I'm just putting this right onto there. Pretty cool, right? Just like that. Then I'm going to take this piece and just put some glue right here. Once you've got this figured out, it goes together really, really fast. There we go. Just like so. And there's my one flower. All right, so then what I want to do is I want to have this come off of here. I want this to go like this. I want this to go up. So I'm going to end up trimming these off, and then this is going to go on here about like so. All right, my fingers are sticky. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to put this piece down, and you just sort of have to play with this, how it's going to go. But here, I want this piece down a little bit lower. So it's just going to go on there. Now, where this piece is going to go and come up, because I want it to come up higher than this, but this, see, this flower is going to go right there. So it's going to look like it's higher anyways. I want to put one of these buds. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on, and then we're going to have the bud kind of poke out. You know, I've got this so that, oh shoot, I'm going to have to do it like this. And then this piece is going to go like that, and it's going to pop out. So see how that's just sort of popping out there? Not that it's coming out that much. And then this piece is going to come over here, and the other bud's going to be on there. So let me just go ahead and put this on here. There. And then I'm going to cover up that part of the bud, the bottom part of the bud. And I'm just going to have that come over there like so. So I'm just going to, now, before I put this on, I want to put this part behind there on the bud stem. So you want to do that before you put this down. And then that's just going to just butt right up to that bud. All right, and then this is just going to come down like this. And trust me, without this little piece here, it kind of just, it just doesn't flow. So that's why I did it popping out of there. All right. Just like so. Now, I'm not going to worry about, whoops, I'm going to put that on after. So now what I want to do is I want to put this onto this part of the card. So this is going to go on here like so. All right, so I can go ahead and put that onto here. Whoops, a lot of glue on there. Should probably have this onto a silicone mat. All right, so let's just go like this. Just like that. I'm going to trim that little tiny bit of this greenery off of here. And then I'm going to also trim these pieces off once I figure out where this is going to go. I want this to go on with dimensionals. So I'm probably going to put it upright like this. Okay, so we're going to just put on our dimensionals. Not sure why these might be ones from my paper pumpkin. Okay, and this piece right here. So just going to go here. Just like that. And now what I can do is I can just trim off. And I kind of don't want this to be, oh, I should have put that. I want it to go rounded. There we go. So it looks like it's, I see I've got a tiny bit of that bud there sticking out. So I just want to take that off. All right. So now what I want to do is I want to wrap some ribbon around this part here. So this is going to go onto my card like so. So my ribbon can come around here. So I'm actually going to cover up that bud part. So there was really no worry there. So I am using this twill. I guess it's like a twill. It's a pale papaya and white woven ribbon. And I want to wrap that around here. So I'm going to come in with my, I'm just going to move this out of the way because it's sticking to everything. And I'm just going to put my tear and tape on here and some tear and tape right here. And then that's what I'm going to, whoops. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm coming in with my silicone mat because that, I don't want it to stick. And let's bring in our good pick tool. See this brush end? That's what really helps, like with this particular part, just helps taking these parts out. So I leave that on my my take your pick tool because I tend to like, I use that part quite often. All right. So now we are going to put this ribbon just like, and before we put it on, we're going to double check to make sure, yeah, it's going to be enough. So I'm just attaching that to the back of there and the back of here. We use our ribbon scissors to take that off. There we go. So that, again, I'm going to double check before I reinforce it down. There we go. So I'm going to take my tear and tape again. And then let's just reinforce this part down. Just like so. That might be a little too high up. So let's see, is that going to work right? It's a little high, so I want to make sure that these parts are not going to be above this fold right here. I'm just going to take that off a bit. Wasn't paying attention to that when I put that on. All right, so now what we want to do is we can go ahead and attach this part to here. So let's go ahead and do that. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my glue. And we are going to get a lot of glue on there because this is one part that's going to flap up and down. So we don't want that coming off. We're just going to hold that down for a second. Now, I want there to be a bit of something with this ribbon. So I'm coming in with my Essential Baker's Twine. And I'm actually going to, well, that's kind of sitting and gluing. So I'm just going to come under here. And I think I'm just going to, and I don't normally do this. I would normally tie it and then cut it. But I think because of the flimsiness of this particular, you know, with it just being baker's twine. So I'm just going to take that like that. I'm going to do another, I'm going to do it into a knot. There we go. Now is that on there right? Just want to make sure that that's on there really good. And then I'm just going to actually tie this into a bow, and then we can trim it off after. I think this part just makes the ribbon. I thought of doing a faux bow with the rest of the ribbon, but this adds just a bit. It brings out that crumb cake, because this is the crumb cake baker's twine. And it kind of just adds just a tiny bit to it. There we go. Just tie that tight, because that's the whole key to tying bows. See how that just sort of, I think that just sort of finishes it off. There we go. Now what we need is we need to have that thing that's going to hold this up like this. So I went and I thought, oh, you know what? I better sponge this up as well. So I'm going to come back in with my crumb cake. Now this piece happens to be 1 inch by, my goodness, is it 3 inch? Yes, 1 inch by 3 inch. And then I'm going to, now this is the, oh, I should have done this in Very Vanilla. You know what? I'm going to change that to Very Vanilla. And it is, so I'm just going to cut off a piece of this. So this happens to be 2 3/4 by 3/4. There we go. Now hopefully I'll be able to stamp this straight. And I'm going to come in with that saffron that was on that blend, or on that blending brush. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put a sentiment on there. Now the sentiment I wanted to put on there was, I didn't want to have a Mother's Day. I didn't want to do an Easter card. So basically, I guess I could do Easter blessings. I don't normally do Easter cards. I don't know if that's going to fit on there. Let's give it a try. Let's see if it'll fit onto that. Oh, that's Happy Mother's Day. That's not going to work. Easter blessings. Yes, it will fit. Oops. All right. Yes, that'll fit. So I'm just going to come in, and what I originally was going to put on here was sending a card instead of a text. Now, in order to make this show up on the card, I'm just going to use Bermuda Bay because it's a tiny bit darker. Let's just go like this. It's not quite straight. Let's try again. And that should help. All right. So just double checking to see that it's straight. Just going to go. Boy, I've tried this out on one of these, this size card. Oh, not too bad. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to put that on there. So I also want to make sure that there's a lot of dimension on this piece because this is the piece that's going to hold up the easel. So I'm not only going to do the dimensionals with the very vanilla onto the base, but I'm also going to put this base is going to also have dimensionals that go on there. And I'm going to use 3 on this particular one. There we go. So let's put this one on first. Now, if we wanted to, there's a really nice little butterfly that's in there, and the butterfly could go on there as well. So let's just do this. It's crooked. Just like so. And we're just going to put this up here. And that's what's going to hold our card, just like that. Now, we wanted to make sure that we put some embellishments on there. So I thought the best ones for this is the Genial Gems. So let's go ahead and put those on. So let's see, I'll put one up here. One there. And then let's just put one, oops, right here. And there's my card. So I hope you like that. Like I say, it's a different type of an easel card. But there we go, just like that. Like so. So I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give me the thumbs up, leave a comment, and if you have any questions, just reach out. Another thing, if you do not have a demonstrator in Canada, I would love to be your demonstrator. I do have a very generous reward program. And there is, like I say, there's the, where is it? It's right down here. There's the host code for this month. So like I say, I really do appreciate you watching me. Oh, again, if you do live in Canada and you do purchase from me, I also give away tutorials each and every month. So we will see you soon. Bye for now.